Hello everybody. Madonna. Hello everybody. How's it going? How are y'all doing? Y'all already know before we start, drop that number one or something in the comment section, pretty please. So I know that y'all can hear me. Get this. Please hold. I mean, you can't win for losing. Please hold. Lord. You get blackout curtains. Where's that coming from? All the way over there? Hold on. Oh. I mean, there's so much going on up in here. There we go. There we go. Now let's get the light situated. Okay. So much drama to start things off with. I need to take a swig of water over that. How's everybody doing? Oh, so there's ones in the comment section. Okay, cool. Let me get over here. And let me mute this. It's muted. Okay, so how is everybody doing? Everybody, welcome, Miss Emily. How is she doing? I hope you're fine, Emily. Emily, please tell me you have good weather up there in Michigan, because let me tell you what, it started off cold down here, but it is insanely beautiful. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I went to like an outdoor little, it's called First Sunday. And it's like a thing where they do this thing downtown where everybody like comes out and does booths and stuff like that. So I went and did that. I posted a couple of maybe stories on Instagram of it. But it was so pretty, so nice to be out. I went off my diet. I had onion rings. I had French fries. I had mochas, and I loved every second of it. And I hope that y'all have done something just as enjoyable today in your own way. Ultra, hello Ultra, how are you doing? I got your stuff to send off to you for that top tier Patreon stuff, your card and stuff. Sitting over there, I just saw your name in the thing, so thanks for joining in. I'm gonna get it. I was gonna do it today, but it's Sunday. Put it in the mail, but there's that. Okay, Pierre, and I hope I'm saying your name right. Let me see if I can put this up here. Oh, let me go over here. Please hold. Please hold. Okay, so I just recorded a video yesterday, and it'll probably come out sometime, maybe Tuesday, Thursday. I mean, I don't know, sometime this week. I can't keep up with Gypsy because by the time I record something and put it out, 10 things have changed. So, but yes, I was like, new nose, new man, new tattoos, new everything. Okay. Hey, I mean, okay, you know what I'm saying? And I said this in the video that I did. The part about it that got me is I was just like, I don't know if you've been following it, is when she left her dog behind. Now, I get that she's like attached to Ryan mostly, but I was just like, wow, she was done. Like she left him and the damn dog. Oh my God, Cement Shoes. See, Cement and hello, Cement Shoes. I hope you're doing well. So Ryan just put out a video statement. Well, you know, I have to go look that up. But here's the other thing too: how much of it is for TV? I mean, I think that it's like how much of the whole situation is real. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope everybody's doing well. Now today, so just quick housekeeping stuff. First of all, if you are visiting from the main channel, this is the podcast channel. Over here, we go live. It is a very casual situation over here. I stop and talk to people. I read the comments. That's why we're here. You know what I'm saying? So it's that vibe. A lot of people don't like it. I get that. Some people just want to see my edited stuff, so that's what the main channel is for. So, and depending on what it is, I'll edit and put on there. But these like kind of things like we're doing like this, or our Ruby and Jody conversation last night, there's no real reason to, because it's kind of talking about the case in general. Hey, Chrissy Lee. So there's that. So just make sure you're subscribed to both channels, and then there's that. So today specifically, we're talking about Chad Daybell. I wanted to do 2 different live chats because one thing, I mean, y'all let me know what you think. What I find is when I sit here and say, we're going to talk about Ruby and Chad, you know, either A, people come for one or the other. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to stay for both, but if you're come to listen to one of them and I'm starting off on the other one, it's annoying, right? Hold on, let me turn this down. I have an HOA meeting in a couple of hours, and they're starting to text about it. Will not be in the meeting. Okay, yep, cool. So that's where I was like, you know what? Let's just do two separate ones. And two, the Ruby thing that's an entire conversation, right? And also, by the time I'm done talking about one, it's almost like, okay, well, now I want to move on. So that being said, what we're going to do today is just read a couple of articles that are kind of catching us up to date on where things stand with the trial, the jury selection, what next week looks like. Now, here's my next question, because I have tomorrow a few hours where I could go live and stream it and watch it with everybody, which I personally am planning on doing because I have fun doing that. I mean, especially imagine once we get to the trial. I mean, the part we've been in is kind of boring. However, the eclipse is happening tomorrow, so I don't know if it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we can go live, and if you want to watch the eclipse, go do that, or if you want to hang out, do this. Or you can do both. It's a free world, good Lord. So there's that. So just be tuned. I go live Eastern time, 11 o'clock a.m. So that's what time we'll go live. That's what time the thing seems to start. So tomorrow, what they're going to be doing, my understanding, we'll read it. We're going to review a couple of articles and whatnot here in a minute. Hey, Fuzzy Doxy. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be, or I'm sorry, tomorrow they're going to be starting in like where they have the amount of jurors they need. Now they're going to start going through and like getting them dwindled down to the amount that, the actual jury pool. And we'll read it in a second, one of these articles. It's at 10 a.m., Paul. Okay, so what's that mean, Emily? Does that mean I need to do it at noon here? Or are you telling me my time? I go live at my time. See, Emily has to keep me in line, y'all. Yeah, what time Eastern time do I go live, Emily, if you know? Noon, yes, our time. Emily, you and I are in the same time, right? Noon our time. Okay. So they're going an hour later. Okay, I gotcha. Thank you. It takes me a minute sometimes. Had to take my shoes off and use my toes to count that one out. Wouldn't it be at 12? Where you live, 2 p.m. Coast is 3 hours later. 10 to 11. Yeah, they are. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Just be on the lookout tomorrow. Be on the lookout, y'all. It'll come out sometime in the morning. So there's that. So also on the main channel, I did that the video of my reading of Chad Daybell's book. I live in North Carolina, so East Coast time. 2 p.m. full dark. Oh, that's right. You're talking about okay, I'm getting mixed up with people talking about the eclipse time and then the other thing. Okay. You when you're planning to go live. Yeah, let me know, Chrissy, because I'm kind of like back and forth this week. You can pop in. Oh, thank you, Audra. I appreciate it very much. Virginia, okay. Apple message. I love your channel. Oh, thanks, Christy. I appreciate it. Don't really know what the hell. Spooky. You know what? I don't either, Spooky. I don't either. That's the fun of it. We never know what's gonna happen, right? We say Chad Daybell, we end up talking about JoJo Siwa for 30 minutes. Side note, if you want a full cringe rabbit hole that is completely useless, it's absolutely brain rot, go down the JoJo Siwa Karma video release. It just keeps getting worse. Okay, so that being said, let's start talking about Chad Daybell for a second. And PTSD Server Talk said I just watched your compilation. You are welcome for the laughs. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, it's just a compilation of all my videos that I did reading through his book. It's all in one thing. It's like a 4-hour thing. So yeah, if you want to listen to it in the car, at work, or whatever, but brace yourself, because again, the book that he wrote gives us such an insight to me into like how he thinks. And again, I said this 100 times in the video. I understand that he's writing a book, he's doing this, it's water cooler talk for that industry, whatever. But for someone to put that in writing, and this is on the notion that it's true, okay, that let's start with that. Some of his stories and the delusions of grandeur, which you can see. I mean, you would honestly think that he's the president's right hand man. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, that's what's insightful about the book. And then obviously, from a completely different standpoint, it's pure cringe. It's poorly written. The jokes are awful. Even the title, One Foot in the Grave, which basically is his life right now. Because let me tell you what, hold on, fire up the damn old Sparky. Hold on, where'd our new little emoji go? I'm telling y'all, I can hear it just a going. I can hear right now, y'all. He's got 1 foot in the damn grave. I'm telling you. If he doesn't get convicted of that and get the DP on this, y'all. Nope. I absolutely do not see that not happening. Or you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Nirvana. I appreciate it. The sexy sexton. I know, wasn't that so creepy? So utterly creepy, right? Hey, Amy, how's it going? I know Chrissy Drill says, just finished. I vote you narrate all his published books. So I started looking into some of his other books to do, and I might find a couple of other ones because this one gave the most cringe. Because I feel like I tried to do another one, and I was like this. I was like, I mean, literally, y'all, it was like falling over. Even this one, like, I mean, you probably couldn't tell, but some of the filming of it, I mean, I would be like, oh my God, I'm going to fall. Like my body, and I think I said this in the video, like my body started rejecting the book. You know what I'm saying? Like the reality that I was in, my body was like, I can't, we're just going to pass out. You know what I'm saying? Hey Tori, yeah, I got quickly to your I just checked my email a few minutes ago. I saw everything. But yeah, YouTube doesn't allow the animated ones. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I feel like they don't. So yeah. Hold on, I'm just reading the comments here. So that being said, let's start real quick. Let's read an article that's going to let us all know. Mostly me, I'm gonna be honest. This might be all news to y'all, but I just want to kind of get on the page of where we left off, all the deets of what's gonna be taking place tomorrow with the number of the jurors and all this kind of stuff. So that being said, please hold. Lord. I mean, please hold. I'll say it one more time. Okay, hold on. Let's go over here. We're gonna present. We're gonna share the screen. We're gonna share the screen. So many buttons to push. It's so serious. Okay, share. So utterly serious. Okay, there you are. Okay, here we go. So you see his little smug face up there. And let's get back over to the page. Where is it? It's right here. So Idaho versus Chad Daybell. This is the case at hand. Let's scroll down. Update. Court concluded the first week of trial with jury selection. 57 potential jurors have made it through the first round of questioning. We'll get to that in a second. Monday morning, we'll begin with the next step in the jury selection process. Preemptory challenges. Both the defense and the prosecution will be allowed 16 strikes to remove potential jurors. Okay. Once the jury is whittled down to 18, 12 jurors and 6 alternates, the trial will begin in earnest with opening statements. Okay, so pause right there for a second. Let me find y'all. Where'd you go? Please tell, where are you? Okay, so this is what's interesting because I don't really, I rarely sit through like the begin like we have with this, and I didn't sit through day in day out of it. Y'all saw we went live a few times, and that's what I watched of it when I was watching it with y'all. Watching the jury selection from the beginning was like, I was like, this part will take years. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they did it in a week, I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like I was surprised by that. So it's a very interesting legal process to watch. Now I saw some people comment earlier about like, oh, we can make it past, or maybe in the comment section for the video I did on chat this morning, people being like, you know, oh, we can get past the egg questions. Yes, those questions that they ask, oh my gosh, y'all. Like I respect the process, right? But it was one of those things where once you've heard do you like scrambled eggs, sunny side up, all that stuff, like and trying to take it like serious, you're just like, Oh my gosh, are we gonna ask a question again? And for me, I guess too, I'm like, I'm just bitter at this point. Like, because when people would start being like, when they would ask, "What do your kids like?" or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, now they all are gonna want to talk about what their kids like for breakfast, and that's so bitter of me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, but I get it, right? Like I respect the process, but it just gets so like, come on, let's move on. So we have moved on. So, but yeah, I thought it was going to take forever. So now that we're here, I'm like, well, I don't think this should take too long, but they're going to really be going through because that they've each sat here, meaning defense and the state, and made notes about certain jurors and whatnot. So now we're going to this is what's going to be interesting. If you've watched the couple of first days that we did we live streamed it, and we nicknamed her Daycare Karen, I think, where we're going to be able to see more of the personalities of the jurors, and kind of like, to me, that's fascinating because they're picking who will decide his fate, right? So it's like, it's interesting to see that and to see their personality. So like when you get the juror that you feel like they're like super extra and not in a good way, because obviously if we were having people picked out in a jury for us, we would want them to be like legit, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yeah, take it seriously. I get that. So some of it's, just being facetious and making the time go while we watch and whatnot. I get that, right? But some of them, like if I was having a jury picked out for me and I saw somebody that was like super extra and too into it, that would make me very nervous. You know what I mean? Because I'd be like, look, really? Like, you like want to be up here. You know what I mean? Please hold. You have to question their motivation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that being said, let me go back over here. Please hold. Okay. Scroll down. The trial of Chad Daybell continues Friday with day 5 of jury selection. This is past, obviously. Judge Boyce told attorneys on day 1 that 50 jurors were needed before moving into the next phase of selection, preemptory strikes. The court reached 52 potential jurors Thursday night before wrapping up, so it's not immediately clear why the court resumed this morning with questioning another group of potential jurors. Could have been to dot their I's and cross their T's. Then they talk about the legal expert, Ryan Black with the Attorneys of Idaho, and Ryan believes that the Judge Boyce has been very careful throughout the case to ensure that nothing goes wrong that could cause a mistrial and that could be the reason for additional jurors being questioned to build in a safety buffer. Because one thing, too, if you remember, and I can't remember if it was Alec Murdaugh's trial, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, where they had, remember where it was like all these jurors, they just kept losing jurors along the way. So it was almost like, okay, like, are we going to go through the alternates? Like, do we have alternates of alternates? So, I get it. I think that it's good that he's being extra like that. Because why not? You know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen on that day. So it's like, look, let's go ahead and get them, get more. Okay, let me get back over here. Where are we at? No, I don't want that. I want this page. Okay. Once court does move into the next phase of jury selection, both the prosecution and defense will have 16 strikes. We already said this, to remove potential jurors from the final jury. 12 jurors, 6 alternates. Black tells us that once each side have used their 16 strikes, the lowest remaining jurors will make up the jury of 18, and the remaining will likely be dismissed by the judge. Can you imagine being in that like pool that makes it that far? You know what I'm saying? Because this is getting like for real now for the jury. Okay, so now it's just talking about, again, for those who are new to this or whatever, Daybell faces the first-degree M charges for 3 people: Tammy Daybell, his wife, J.J. Vallow, and Tylee Ryan. So those were Lori Daybell's children, Lori Vallow Daybell's children. Pardon me. It just goes on to the thing here. So let's get rid of this screen right here. Now, I wanted to review this, so let me come back over, get rid of that. Let me come back to y'all. So, Jules, opening statements will not start yet because they're still dwindling down the pool of jurors they have to get the actual jury. And as soon as they do that, they'll start opening statements. So, depending on the timing of that, like say they figure that out early morning, they might do the opening statements that afternoon. You know what I'm saying? So next week at some point, I'm imagining the opening statements are going to happen. It just depends on when. Please hold. So we're just going to have to kind of see. And let me tell you what. When I tell you, hey, Tori, when I tell you I am dying to get to those opening statements, I want to see what what's his name, Pryor, has to say for the opening statements. Dying to know. It's killing me. Okay. Because as you know, opening statements is kind of where we, you know, hey Wendy, welcome to your first live. I mean, that's where we get their side of the story. So I'm wanting to know, because remember the dynamics here are a little bit different. The children were from, what I mean by that is from Lori's case. The children were found buried on Chad's property. Now, again, whatever evidence is going to come out, we'll be very interested to see, because here's the thing. If they have any form of fingerprints or anything like that on the remains or anything like that, there you go. But I'm sorry I keep hitting this. I just touch my face and all sorts of things when I talk. Hey, Phoenix. My theory has always been, well, I was wrong about this, though. Number one, that they would each blame each other, Lori and Chad, especially Lori blaming Chad, right? But I mean, that bizarre statement she gave at the end of the trial was just like, what? Huh? So then when we get to Chad, my theory has always been, I'm curious, is that he's going to try and blame Alex? Because I mean, how else do you explain the children in your backyard? I mean, you're going to have to, say something. I don't think he'll take the stand. Has it been confirmed that he is or is not taking the stand? I feel like it would be no way, right? I don't see how he could try and turn around and blame it on Lori, other than being manipulated or something, but like the actual act of it. Because remember, it was basically known that Lori probably did not partake in the actual physical act of doing that to the children. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Chad, in my opinion, did, along with, what's his name? Alex. So, yeah, Ottawa, Andy. Yeah, my body started rejecting the book. I mean, it really does. Okay, Upstate says, Paul, they didn't say if he was or not. I would say not. Yeah, I can't imagine. But I mean, for selfish reasons, if he decided to take the stand, I mean, come on, right? We would be glued to the TV, okay? There's nothing you can say. Because remember, it would open him up to being questioned by the state. That being said, when I tell you that I am sending the highest level of prayer out, that when Melanie Gibb gets up there, that I am not working, okay? I am dying to hear what she has to say in this. But I mean, she's already testified, but when she gets up there, number one, it infuriates me. But number two, we've had all this time pass. So it's like, now I'm wanting to hear, where are we at now, Melanie? You know what I'm saying? Especially where the dynamics change so differently, between her and Chad, between her and Lori. Opening statements, Melanie Gibb, dying for those two things. Dying, okay? Then the evidence that we have been unaware of. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever they're going to pull out, things that we have been unaware of, I'm wanting to very much know. So, pardon me. Let me just read your comments. He's not how he probably thinks he can brainwash the jury with his mumbo jumbo. Yeah, 100%. Conversations Unplugged says he's a narcissist, but it already passed. But he basically thinks he can, swindle the jury. And yeah, 100%, he does. He's used to being able to do it. I mean, these people, I do not understand how this man was able to get the little following that he did, where they literally were like, yeah, I mean, Chad, he might have done these horrible things, but he was, he's a god. It is so bizarre and creepy where it's like, what? I mean, that's the part that blows my mind with they really think that he he had something. You know what I mean? When I say they, I'm talking about like the Melanie Gibbs, like the people that kind of followed him. I mean, they just felt like he had this like energy that I'm just like, what are you talking like? Huh? I can't get over it. Let's see. Yeah, Kazoo says, I think most people crave foundation in the worst way, and Chad is an example of the worst way. Yeah. Chrissy says, Paul, they just know what they know. We're just mortals. Yeah. So SG says, I don't know, where'd you go? The ladies were following his pheromones, his loin fire. Y'all, I pray that they read the loin fire text in court just to see it. And they keep a camera close up the whole time. And we know we're not going to get a close up, but they read it and we can see his face sitting there hung in shame. I mean, those were priceless. I'm sorry. They were absolutely priceless. Okay, let's go to read this article over here because I want to catch up on this too. So we're going to catch up together. And this is Judge and Daybell trial seals midnight intervention. This happened a couple of days ago, but we're gonna read through it real quick. Okay, so let's go over to present and let's do share screen and let's do share screen. And Judge and Daybell. Yep. Thank you. Share. Yep. Do y'all see the same thing that I do? Yes, you do. Let's go. Okay, so Judge and Chad Daybell's trial seals midnight intervention, April 5th, 2024, 11:59 a.m. Okay, by Peter Johnston. The judge in the trial of Chad Daybell sealed a last-minute request that both the prosecution and defense wanted removed. The contents of the request are unknown, but it comes from an award-winning Idaho trial lawyer who is not tied to either legal team in the case. In Tuesday's sealing order, Judge Stephen Boyce wrote, both the state and the defense have raised concerns about the impropriety of this attempt to intervene procedurally and substantively. He wrote that both counsels call for the document to be sealed or struck from the record. KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas told Utah's Morning News the details around the request are unique. He, Terry Ratliff, files this message just before midnight. He's not counsel in the case. He sends a copy of it to several lawyers who are not involved in the case. He writes the wrong case number on it. I mean, are you kidding me? My God. Are you serious? A court document shows that the request is titled I cannot. Motion to intervene to continue the trial in these proceedings. Did he write it on a piece of toilet paper and send it in? Skordas added that while interventions are rare, attorneys usually file them on behalf of a victim or to push for more immediate access in the trial. East Idaho News filed its own intervention to put cameras in the courtroom during the Chad Daybell case. There are reasons you could do an intervention, but it seems the judge in this case is absolutely convinced this is not an appropriate intervention. Pardon me. Boyce wrote in the sealing order that he would keep the seal in place until a hearing. Skordas said that he thinks the sealing is there to stay. I kind of get the sense we're not going to get to know what the motion said until after the trial, Skordas said, because the judge wants to preserve the integrity of the trial. Probably. There's no telling what it said. Literally no telling. Literally no telling. Hold on, let me do this. I mean, I love it. It's the misspellings for me. It's the misspellings. Which, I mean, y'all, if you know how many times I put out a thumbnail and it's misspelled, somebody will text me and be like, Paul, that's not spelled that way. I'm like, oh, sorry. So, I mean, I get it, right? I'm not perfect, right? Okay, but it's so funny to me. It's just so funny to me. Now, hold on. What's this? Please hold. Where are we at? Okay, I just saw another little article on the thing that I want to go and look at real quick. So please hold. Okay, it's doing an advertisement. Let's get through that. So skip ad, pause. Okay, so hold on. Let me share it real quick. We're going to watch this thing where Larry has something to say, and we're going to listen to it real quick. Please hold. Okay, where's present? Share screen. Share screen. JJ's father. I mean, so many buttons. You already know. Did y'all hear it? Roscoe has meandered back to the laundry room and is now yelling at me. After being nice and tucked in on his bed next to me. Very demanding chihuahua. But he's in his last days, so he gets what he wants. Okay, so let's make sure you see the same thing as me. Yes, okay. So let's come back over here. Now, y'all drop a 1 when I start playing it to let me know you can hear it.
An Idaho court is making steps towards seating a jury in the Chad Daybell trial. They are nearly halfway through the first part of jury selection in the triple murder case.
Police Specialist Lauren Steinbrecher sat in the Boise, Idaho courtroom and spoke with family of the victims to get their take on this process.
That jury selection process today played out in Chad Daybell's trial, much like we saw it yesterday. Meanwhile, J.J. Vallo's grandparents are getting ready to head to Boise.
Well, it's part of the process today.
During a second day of searching.
As you sit here today and answer these questions, we're going to ask you to be brutally honest.
Potential jurors either passed to join the pool or were excused, many knowing too much about Chad Daybell's case, his wife Lori Vallow Daybell, and the murders of Lori's children JJ and Tylee and Chad's late wife Tammy.
Well, please raise your red card if you already have an opinion of guilt.
Paying attention from afar.
And my heart is with all of the jurors.
J.J. Vallow's grandparents, Kay and Larry Woodcock.
We're ready for it. You know, let's get this show on the road.
They'll arrive in Boise, and once a jury is seated, we'll spend every single day in the courtroom, just like in Lori's trial.
We know it's going to be hard again. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be tiring.
Larry says he's praying for those potential jurors.
It's going to be extremely hard on the jurors once they're picked, on what they're about to hear, but more than anything else about what they're about to see.
Trusting that the work done this week is part of the larger picture of justice.
All I ask for is a true and just verdict.
The court is on its way to building up that pool of 50 jurors, where from there they will whittle it down to the final 12. The Woodcocks plan to arrive here in Boise at the end of this week. At the Ada County Courthouse.
Okay, wow. God bless them. I mean, with Larry and Kay, number one, being the sounding board in the beginning of where's the children, what's going on. And then, I mean, look at how far they've come. Can you imagine? I mean, it's just, can you imagine? Look at how many years of this, look how stressful this has had to have been. It had to have been incredibly just crazy. So, oh, thank you, Emily. Emily just gifted, excuse me, 5 memberships. Yay. Thank you, Emily. Woo! So, yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome they did that. Now, I'm just going to come over here real quick. And where are we at here? I'm just kind of looking over the Nate Eaton's tweets and whatnot. So this one, so Nate says on this one thing, he says, no, these are Nate's tweets from the courtroom and whatnot. He says, and this is talking about the day of the jury selection, says, while the man says he doesn't have an opinion on the case, he says his wife does. He commits to not talk about the trial with his wife. Wood has no more question. Prior begins voir dire. Is that how you say it? He is concerned that the juror's wife has a strong opinion on the case and could affect the juror. Here's the thing. Can you imagine going to this and then coming home and not being able to talk to anybody about it? I mean, seriously. Yeah, they would fire me instantly. They would fire me instantly. That is crazy. And yeah, I get it. If I was listening to that and they were like, oh, you know, my wife knows about whatever, I mean, I wouldn't want that guy on my jury. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way. Voir dire. Thank you. Thank you, Liz. There's no way, because I mean, if somebody said I need therapy, that's my thing too, because imagine you're doing this. But here's the thing too, it doesn't matter coming home, whatever. It's like you can't even talk to the other jurors about it. You just have to bottle all that up. So I mean, these whole things right here, where you're like, see, especially a case like this, especially when they get to the part of the photographs, the evidence, you know, I'm speaking specifically of the children, things of this, the things that you learn. I mean, it's upsetting. And to know that it's like, okay, I can't I can't process this now. And then once it goes to the jury, I mean, you know that they go off and it's like basically like okay, well, hey, everybody, let's finally talk about this. And something this complicated and complex and how layered it is. I mean, I would be like, okay, y'all, first of all, our first however many hours in the jury room are going to be therapy. We're going to talk to each other and like, are you okay? You know what I'm saying? Kind of a thing. Pardon me. And yeah, MB says, I wonder if the first hour they just cry. I mean, exactly. If you just break down, just the entire thing, especially this for weeks and weeks and weeks of this like major stuff. I mean, it's like you would have to have that just to stay sane. And then also the thing about this is, say you do this, you do the thing, you get the guilty verdict, whatever. Okay, you go home, whatever your home situation is. Let's say you have a spouse at home or something, you know, you have people, something, whatever. You know what it reminds me of is like the thing that I think it would be. Remember that movie? It was the Alien movie. It was something 3, third something where the guy saw the alien, the spaceship, and then he became obsessed with it. And his family was like, "What's wrong with you?" He's making the mashed potato thing. What is that called, y'all? Do y'all know what I'm talking about? It's like back in the 80s. And nobody got him. Almost like that. It's like PTSD, basically, where it's like you've gone through this whole thing and nobody around you really gets it. It's like life altering. You know what I'm saying? It's Close Encounter. Thank you, Spooky. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, y'all. That was a damn good movie. If you have not seen it, by the way, Close Encounter. Yeah. So remember how he was, where it was like he had this experience that no one around him got, and he's like sitting there like, I'm eating dinner and I just learned this. To me, that's like this. You know what I'm saying? So that would be so difficult. You would have to have incredibly understanding people around you, and especially like once it was all said and done. Then okay, so take that. Imagine these trials. Casey Anthony is a good one, right? So say you go through all that, you get the verdict, you come out, and then you find out that the world is like ready to absolutely torch you because of what the verdict was. You know what I'm saying? So in addition to this incredibly disturbing stuff, you've done this, you've done that, and then it's like, what? And Cement Shoes, side note, Fire in the Sky, amazing movie. I watch anything that comes up with Travis Walton interviews. Maybe on one of our member chats we'll do this, because I'd be curious to know. This is a complete side note. Just remember this. Everybody's opinion on the Travis Walton story. Anything that comes up, I will watch it. And I listened to another one the other day on TV, a documentary about it. He was also on Joe Rogan. If you haven't watched it, it's fascinating. Close Encounter of the Loins. Close Encounter of the Loin Kind. Yeah, Spooky, that movie terrified me too, right? Completely. Okay, hold on, let's go back over. I'm going to read through Nate's stuff again real quick. I love following Nate and Justin. Okay, please hold. This one about a woman having an issue about being away from her kids. She doesn't consider it a hardship, but you know, she's their mom. She's nervous about it. I mean, again, I get this. Let's see, the juror. Okay, the juror strongly opposes the death penalty and says she will not vote for it. Go on, send her home then. Send her home. Beatty thanks the woman for her honesty. The woman says she will not impose the death penalty under any circumstances. Beatty moves to excuse the juror. Pryor has follow-up questions. And here's my thing with that. So if you're somebody who, number one, there's two things here. Now, hopefully nobody would use that to get out of something, you know, from their duties, whatever, right? Okay, so if you legitimately have that belief that you're like, I don't care what, I'm not doing that. Well, then obviously if it's definitely the case, then no, send them home, right? And I don't like it when they sit in there and start questioning a juror who you can tell is leaning toward that's their belief. But they're like, well, could you put that aside and do this or that? Because it's like, what happens when you go through this whole thing? And then at the end of the day, they say, yeah, I tried to, but I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't pull the plug on old Sparky on this one. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because it happens, right? Okay, so Jules brings up, do I think Melanie Gibbs was involved that night? And what are you talking about, the night where they're talking about what they do on the podcast and Alex came back with JJ on his shoulder? So, and obviously this is all, I mean, she's not been charged with anything. This is all very allegedly, all very whatever. I mean, I don't know if she was involved in something specifically, but almost like this. Okay, like, you know how they sit there, excuse me, and talk about how Nicole Kissinger and Kay, and this is Chris Watts' case, and I'm specifically thinking of Deception Detective's analysis of her, where he was saying he doesn't think that she was physically, you know, putting her hands and helping Chris, but by her behavior and manipulation and all this type of stuff, yes, she kind of did whatever. Okay, which is how I feel about that. Okay, I think the same kind of thing here. The whole thing about him coming back over with JJ, and I guess this is my issue with Melanie, because there's so much of this stuff when you listen to the police interviews in the beginning, and you listen to all this stuff, and you listen to how far they were going, like they believe this stuff, basically, is what I'm getting at. It's almost like, how did you not know? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense in that way to me. Like, they wouldn't know. It's like, oh, they came over and he was sleeping and we didn't see him and this and that. It's almost like, how did you not? I don't get it. Put two and two together, right? That part doesn't make sense. So do I think that she had a physical hand in something, like, you know, a pulling the trigger type thing? No. But I question how much she really knew and then backed away from it. Because I also remember when Lori's talking about, like, you know, and I can't remember her exact quote, but when they're on that phone call, remember when what's her name? Melanie called Lori for the recorded phone call, and she's getting her to talk, and Lori can basically tell right away. And Lori, in a very passive aggressive way, is like, you'll be held for what you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, for what you know. So that always has never set right with me. And yeah, Deidre says it. Yeah. How? Wait, where'd it go? Hold on, let me put it up here before it loses it. Deidre says, how did they not know the natural flow of events? Exactly. This is, if you're talking about the same thing I am, this is what I'm talking about. This is, you know what I'm saying? It's like add two and two together. And yeah, the both Melanies, who up there said, somebody up here said Melanie, 100% both of them. You can't tell me that Lori's niece, Melanie, didn't give the address for Brandon. I don't even believe that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course she did. They're the only people who knew. You know what I mean? I mean, look at all the drama that went down of her showing up at the house and all this type of stuff. So, and yeah, so good, Sandra. So, hold on, let me get to it. Do you also think Lori's? I mean, here's my thing. Brandon, it's Brandon, right? I'm saying that correct? Brandon, Melanie's ex-husband. I mean, they tried taking him out. The kids in all these cases were the natural next things, right? Because they were just going through the motions. And I guess this is a better way to say it. If there was a financial benefit, you see what I'm saying? Because, and also, here's the thing. Notice that Chad's children, mind you, they were grown up, but still, Chad's children were never thrown. It was everybody else's kids. If you got in their way, or if there's financial benefit, because I do think that part of Lori's situation was her being very, very bitter about Kay getting that money. You know what I'm saying? And when she realized that, like, almost like, because I don't know if you remember, but when Lori first walked into the court, and this is going back, like, I'm talking like they just got her butt over here. It's that first time she walks past Kay and Larry in the very beginning stages, where she has that smirk on her face. Like, you know, Lori was eating that up. You know what I'm saying? It's like the ultimate revenge. It's just like, what's his name? Chad Doorman, however you say his last name. They just took his kids out, all his kids in front of. wife holding one of the babies. It takes him out. The ultimate revenge against someone. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's part of Lori's motivation. She can sit here and talk about Chad, this, church, this, blah, 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 dark, light, all this BS. I 100% think it was partly of getting back at Kay and Larry, but essentially Kay, because, you know what I'm saying, because of the brother connection. Now, of course, this is just sofa speculation. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in their minds. I don't know behind the scenes. But I just think that, I mean, that's the vibe I got. So, yeah, Upstate says I want to slap that smart girl. Amen, girl. And that's the part right there. Pardon me. And excuse me. Seeing Lori just has that smirk. Chad doesn't seem to have the smirk. Chad's just a doofus. And that alone pisses you off. You know what I'm saying? Lori has that. I don't know. It runs all over me. Yeah, this is okay. So hold on. Cat Lady and Hello Cat Lady says, how can Chad's kids not stand behind their mom? That's crazy to me. Yeah, I'm very curious to know too. Have we heard anything from them on social media where we're at now? Are they still standing behind Chad? Like, where are we at with this? Yeah, Aaron says Lori is so smug. 100%. Hey, Abilis, I hope I'm saying your name right. Totally, yeah, 100%. I can't live without a puppeteer. Yeah, right. They still support Chad. Okay. That's what, you know who I was thinking about the other day, complete side note here, is oh God, it's gonna leave me. No, it's gonna leave me. Barry Morphew and his girls. Because now I mean he got away with that. Right. I'm like, he got away with that. Sad but true. And I'm like, do the girls still, like, where does that stand? Like where we left off with, they were standing behind them. You know what I mean? I think Chad's kids want to attend trial, but they support him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Audra says Chad's in a trance, just waiting like a frozen statue. Just waiting like a frozen statue to get back into his portal. I mean, for real. So obnoxious, right? And yet conversation says, how can they say he was set up and support him after the evidence? And that I'm curious too. You know, one of the cases that always fascinated me with children standing behind a parent member is the case of Michael Peterson. That was the local case here that happened in Durham. And Kathleen Peterson was found deceased at the bottom of the stairs. They had a blended family of his children, her daughter, and then adopted kids from the last woman that he was intertwined with, who was found dead at the bottom of the stairs. That's all I'll say about that. But, you know, at first, all the children, including Kathleen's, backed him. Michael wouldn't do this. Now Michael wouldn't do this, and then evidence came out. Well, Kathleen's daughter was like, I'm done. He clearly killed my mother. And then the rest of his family was like, we're going to stand behind him. Well, then if you watch all the stuff as through the years and whatnot, you see where even like, it's almost like the kids get to the point of like, well, whatever happened that night, Dad, right? Yeah, you would have to question it. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older with more perspective, that part I think is very interesting. Because, like, and again, I don't know these people. Although I literally talked to somebody the other day that was like, yeah, I just saw Michael Peterson at the gym. I mean, it's crazy, right? And his son just went this rant, although I think his son had some serious issues, talking about dad killed mom and all sorts of stuff, right? Sherry, Raleigh, woohoo! We love Raleigh. Oh, and Zulema. Is she going to testify? Yo, is Zulema going to testify? We need to know this. Do we know if she's on the witness list? That's another one right there. You want to talk about that police interview she gave? You want to talk about can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. That is the walking definition of it right there. But again, okay, so let's kind of go off over here on this little tangent for a second. So the way that like Melanie and Zulema, these people talk about like this stuff like it's real, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not trying to put down somebody's natural, like these are my religious beliefs, and then there's what Lori and Chad are touting. Go look over at Ruby and what's her name, Jody. Separate religion from whatever it is they're going off about, right? Well, then remember when Kevin was in the interview and he was like talking about Jody's head turned around 3 damn times and throwing up pea soup, possessed, all this type of stuff. And he's like, well, if she's making it up, and you're like, what if it's an option? Well, when Zulema and Melanie are up there, you can tell they're still fangirling over some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, and they're talking about this stuff like, oh, well, we would do a healing thing where we would cast out the zombie in the person. And you're just like, what are you talking about? Thank you, Barb. And hold on, let me do it. I'm glad that people try it after the eye drop. Also, oh, thank you. I appreciate it, Barb. And I am gonna. I have not sat down and watched it, but I recorded the eye drop killer, her 2-hour rant that she did in court. Bless that judge's heart. When I saw it was same damn judge from Daryl Brooks, I was like, how does she get these people? It's like every case that comes through her courtroom is absolutely next level. Okay. Absolutely next level of insanity. And you're just like, and I know, but here's the thing. Nothing holds a candle to Daryl Brooks. So even though this girl's like, okay, I'm getting ready to talk for 2 hours. I know it might get on y'all nerve. I was like, she's probably 2 hours. That's it. Go for it, girl. I've already survived Daryl Brooks in this courtroom for weeks. Abilas, thank you very much. Abilas gifted everybody 10 memberships. Woohoo! Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, Cement says that just has the patience of Buddha. I mean, seriously. Okay. Woman says Michael is still alive. I know. I thought the same thing. That's the shocking part, right? He's still up and kicking and doing stuff. We'll hear about it. He lives in some apartment complex around here. We'll hear about it when he dies. Trust me. And then that's when it would be good to hear from the kids. I can almost guarantee you, this is sofa speculation. I know I'm jumping from case to case. I would almost guarantee you one of his sons will write a book and totally come out talking about dad did it. I can't remember his name. He's like super handsome son. I mean, they were both handsome, but this one was like he looks like a model. And he went off on this. It was so bizarre. I opted not to make a video on it because I felt like it would be exploiting somebody's mental breakdown on social media. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can't. Like, I don't feel right doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, his son hasn't done it. But I mean, he went on a whole bender driving in a Ferrari or a Corvette from here to Miami, talking about dad killed mom. I mean, crazy stuff, y'all. Oh, thank you. Hold on. Where'd you go? Please hold. I don't know. Forever Wonder, thank you. I know the loin fire thing. I'll have to put it back out, or not put it back out, but like remind, you know what I mean, but like post again or whatever. I can't remember if that was broken up into a bunch of things too. Maybe if I piece that one together. Phoenix says, I wonder Zulema poisoned Alex with the Malachite power. That's, 100%. There's so many questions there about that end of it. It's just like, there's so many things. This is another thing about this case. First of all, when this case was popping off, we hadn't really seen this level of stuff out of, what do you call it? The offshoots of this religion and that kind of stuff. Sadly, now a lot of these cases that are coming to the pipeline are in these like similar offshoots and whatnot. And it's just kind of like bizarre belief systems that these people make up and whatnot. So, Zulema and the whole thing with Alex, it's just like, we'll probably never know what really happened. I do not believe for 1 second that man died of natural causes. Please hold. Let me cut Alex because lump on a lot. Chad couldn't. Yeah. Chad was probably talking him through the whole day, like, okay, Alex. Because that's another thing where Alex just believed this stuff allegedly. And I'm like, what? Like, seriously, I think Chad was working on him, like, Alex, the next step in your journey and you know, helping Lori and I is you're going to have to do this. So whether he was taking something or someone gave him something, but I feel like he was working him over in that way. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, Z was hold on. Oh, thank you, Lucy. I appreciate it. And hello, Sydney. Okay, hold on. Where are we at? I wanted to read somebody's comment, but I lost it. Okay, I missed it. Yeah, Upstate says, Paul, I agree. They manipulated the hell out of. Oh, yeah. Alex was prime picking for them, though. I mean, they just got him. He was their lapdog. Look at all the evil he did. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and probably, see, this is the thing that they're probably pissed off over because he was always set up to be the fall guy, which, I mean, in a sense he was. But it didn't quite work out that way. Thanks, Barb. I can't wait for the Charles trial in Arizona. I know. Oh, they'll get her for the DP there. Don't they have death penalty in Arizona? One interesting tidbit about Arizona that we love is that they are, and if you are from there, know, their driver's licenses have these like super extended expiration dates. So it's like, I forget what it is, but like it'll be like 30 years out or something crazy like that. And I'm like, it's damn near worth moving there to get. So Yaya Kelly, the Delphi case. So here's the thing with that. I started doing some stuff in the beginning, and then that was one of those things where the internet got so vicious and divided over it. I was like, I'm backing off, but I have been watching behind the scenes. So the Delphi case is a trial. And I'm like, when that comes up, oh, we're gonna be on it. Brian Koberger, that's another one that it started getting way too crazy on the internet, and I was like, no, thank you. Like, this is way too much. I was like, no, we're just going to wait for this to go to trial, but we're just going to be reading and keeping up with it behind the scenes. And if something major, like this whole thing about the jury thing and the Brian, I know I'm jumping around right now, the Brian thing recently, stuff like that, I think about like, oh, but then I'm like, don't do it. People it's just very, the fact of the matter is with these kind of cases, whatever my opinion is on them, like we don't know if this, even with Chad's, like we don't know, right? We don't know all the evidence. We don't know all the stuff. We won't know till it goes to trial. And so everybody, whether it's innocent, guilty, whatever, it makes up their mind before it happens, and they get brutal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, so it is what it is. But and so we're trying to get a venue change. They did a call by this way to, yeah. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that these cases do. It's like, what? Another one. Now here's one that then there's other situations. You'll know exactly what I mean when I say this. That everyone's like, I think we can all agree on this. So everybody's kind of like, it goes under the radar. Sarah Boone. I mean, come on, right? You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing too. So Nirvana said the Delphi case is deep, very deep. This is another. So with these like super deep cases, this one included, Delphi, Brian. Then you switch over to something like Sarah Boone. You know, it's so absurd who you're dealing with. Number one, Sarah specifically, that it's insane. So like that, I mean, I can almost predict what the next update will be. She fired her lawyer. She wrote a letter. It's not her fault. She's a victim. Let's get the trial. Anything she can do to delay the trial. 100% we're going to be watching that one. And oh my God, she's going to be so vile in that trial, y'all. So, but I mean, this case, see, the thing that's different about this case, Lori and Chad, is it's gone on for years, and other things have happened that have blown up, if you will, you know what I'm saying, or taken the nation's attention away, whatever. And so, but this case got just as blah, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning of it. Because it is a bad case. It's insane. I mean, this is happening. It was insane. And then when you find out what they did, it's absolutely crazy. And it has all this stuff buried beneath it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, unintentionally. I don't. My prediction is Sarah will go pro se and won't go to trial until 2025. You're probably 100% right. Hello. Hey, everybody. Hold on, Corey. Wait a second. Corey Richards is a good one. Oh, yeah. Corey Richards. Oh, yeah. That one right there, Corey Richards. Also, I can't think of her name right now. The girl that killed the bride, bless her heart, on her wedding day, and then just got released on bail. That one right there, if she doesn't take a plea deal, which judging from her parents, they probably won't because apparently she's not responsible for this. Yeah, Corey Richards, that place. That's another one. Real cut and dry on that. Okay, real cut and dry. You know, it is what it is. I mean, obviously, if I was like a lawyer or something like that, I would not be saying that. But I mean, come on, right? So, y'all, I have to go. I have to get ready for an HOA meeting, which means that I have to feed. This is Roscoe's feeding time, so I have to get him fed first. So be on the lookout tomorrow. We will go live for the morning session of the trial. It's going to be jury selection. We'll stream it. We'll hang out. We'll talk. It will probably, you know, they're going to have more of these stupid questions, right? But it is what it is. So just be on the lookout. I'll post it in the morning. It will be on this channel. So be on the lookout for it. Thank you, Emily, for being here. We do appreciate it. And Nirvana says, I love your Funko Pops of the Cure. And I finally took them out of the box. I love them too, right? I absolutely love them. I love the Cure. Love Dolly. Love it all. So thank you, Emily, for holding it down and letting me know what time to go live tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for the conversation. I just absolutely love the conversations and the comment sections or here or wherever. Very appreciative of it. So is Roscoe. Say thank you. And that's it. I hope y'all have a good Sunday evening. And I will see some of y'all, I guess, mid-morning or whatever. So that's it. I love you guys. Y'all have a good evening. I will talk to you soon. Sleep time.